Good morning, everybody. Matt Moda here. And what we're going to do in this video, I'm going to do a deep dive on the 2024 Home Run Derby, giving out my best bets, predictions, long shots, best bets, favorites, all that stuff for the 2024 Home Run Derby as well. So first, I'm just going to go through all of the participants and you'll see the odds of all the guys participating. I'll give some quick high-level thoughts on just some notes that I want to get out there, and then I will give out. So what I'm going to do is one best bet, just who I actually think is going to win, one value pick, and value pick doesn't necessarily mean player with the longest odds. It just means who do I think is the best value at the odds you're getting them at. And then I am going to have one long shot play as well, someone that is priced plus 1,000 or above, who I think has a chance to win. So if you're interested in any of those three, want to lock in all three or just choose one or any combination of the three, totally fine with me. Just remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're not already, and we can get right into it. So on the screen here, you're going to see a list of all the players participating in the Home Run Derby. As you can see from the odds, Pete Alonso is the favorite to win. That makes sense. He's already won the award twice, and he seems to take the Home Run Derby about as serious as anybody in the world can imagine. To him, the Home Run Derby is the most important thing in the MLB. Everything else is just secondary to the Home Run Derby. From there, Ozuna has the second best odds, and then Adolis Garcia with the third best odds. I will admit, I was surprised to see Adolis Garcia with the third best odds, because if you look at his stats, he's had a pretty down year this year. Granted, we all know that he has a ton of raw power. We all know that he can go on pretty crazy home run binges, as we saw in the playoffs in the MLB last year. And also as we saw at the beginning of this year as well, when he was hitting the ball really well. I thought it was kind of interesting because he's not hitting the ball well as of right now. And then in terms of the long shot guys, there are only three guys as of right now that have plus 1,000 odds or longer: Teoscar Hernandez, Jose Ramirez, and Alec Bohm. Of the three, I personally only really think one of them has a chance to win, so that one person will be my long shot. We'll save him for last. We're just going to go in order of the first one's going to be best bet, then we're going to go best value, then we'll go long shot. And in terms of the best bet, it's chalk, it's boring. It's actually just Pete Alonso. I think he is the best, bet to win the Home Run Derby. He just takes it incredibly serious, incredibly important. And while he isn't having a great year from what you normally expect to see Pete Alonso and how hard he can hit the baseball and all that stuff, he's still having a decent year overall. Better than Adolis Garcia, better than Matt Olson, who Matt Olson's not participating, but a power hitter with a down year. That's not really Pete Alonso. He's fine overall, and he did just hit a home run yesterday on Sunday, so hopefully he's seen the ball well and starting to get on a hot streak. But you look at his season, his ISO rate on the year is 21%, which is still in the great category as defined by Fangraphs. It's not in the excellent category, which would be 25% and above. But like when I'm looking at players to hit a home run, as long as they are at least in the great category, that's good enough for me. And him being at 21% in what is a down year, that's totally fine. And then you go from there, barrel rate of 11.6%, that is also in the great category. Anything for barrel rate that is considered excellent is 15% and above, and then 10 to 15% is considered great. So, while obviously we would prefer him to be excellent in both categories, him being great in ISO rate and great in barrel rate, that's still good enough. He has the prerequisite numbers that we look for, so that's totally fine with me. And then another stat that I think is important specifically for an event like the Home Run Derby, aside from barrel rate, is really important. Like, how often do you hit the barrel of the bat? I guess I should define that. Barrel rate is literally measures how often you hit the barrel of the bat. And for an event like the Home Run Derby, I mean, barreling the ball up is really important, because I mean, these are meatball pitches that are going. So the more often you can barrel it up, the more opportunity you're going to have to hit 1 yard. And then another stat kind of similar to that I want to look for is bat speed. I think bat speed is really helpful for an event like this. And of all the participants in the Home Run Derby, Alonso has the second fastest bat speed of all participants. And then bat speed, if you don't know what it means, it's exactly what it sounds like, right? It legitimately measures the speed of the bat as the player swings. Bat speed plus power plus barrel rate is a pretty good combination for a player to hit a bunch of home runs in an environment like this. And I really do think that it's important that he has not only participated in this event multiple times, but the fact that he has won twice. So he knows what to expect. He knows what he needs to do. And even last year when he didn't win, he still had a pretty good, I mean, he got bounced in the first round. He still had a pretty good showing overall. The first round was just wonky last year, and it was head-to-head, which is not the case this year. So the fact that, again, he knows what to look for and that he has had success in this event, I do think is important. And while he's having a minor down year for someone as good as him, he's still having decent stats across the board. So Pete Alonso, best bet to win the award. He's the favorite for a reason. I totally agree with those odds, pricing him as the favorite. In terms of the value, I think the best value on the board is Gunnar Henderson. I think the fact that he has the 4th best odds and that he's priced at plus 550 is kind of crazy. Now, obviously, by the time you watch this, the odds might change and you might be able to get better odds elsewhere if the plus 550 is no longer available at FanDuel. But I think that Gunnar is a really, really good play, a really, really good bet to win overall. And the fact that we're getting this again at plus 550 and him being the 4th favorite as opposed to not even in the top 3, I think that's really, really good. I think that's great, great value. Now, the risk, obviously, with Gunnar is that this is his first time participating. I always prefer in events like this, like for the All-Star game in the NBA, the three-point contest in the NBA, I prefer players that have gone through it before. So you just know what to expect, you know what to look for, you know what you need to do and all that stuff. This is Gunnar's first time participating in the Home Run Derby. It's also his 2nd year in the MLB. He was a rookie last year and he was really good. He was Rookie of the Year and he's having a great year this year. But if you take away the fact that he hasn't participated yet and you just look at all the batters and their stats this year, by far Gunnars are the best. He's the best hitter in this crop of batters in the Home Run Derby by far. It's really not even close. Like, Gunnar Henderson's numbers are clearly the best of all participants in the Home Run Derby, and his numbers are among the best in the entire MLB. ISO rate is at 29.6%, the 3rd best ISO rate in the entire MLB. That is in the excellent category. And obviously, it's above 25%. In his ISO rate, the only 2 players with a better ISO rate is Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani. ISO rate stands for isolated power, literally just measures how much power a batter has. His barrel rate is at 14.6%. That is also in the great category, and that is good for about the 16th best in the MLB. Of all the participants, he by far has the best ISO rate plus barrel rate when you combine those 2 categories, right? Barrel rate in the great category, ISO rate in the excellent category. And then you look at other stats as well. Hard hit rate, average exit velocity, bat speed, whatever you want to look at. Gunnar Henderson annihilates, just crushes the baseball. He's got the 4th highest hard hit rate in the MLB at 57.2%, the 8th fastest average exit velocity in the MLB as well. Again, of all the participants in the Derby, Gunnar Henderson by far hits the ball the hardest, has one of the best barrel rates, has the best ISO rate, and it really isn't even close between him and the next participant. And then even more advanced stats as well. Bat speed. I mentioned how Pete Alonso had the 2nd best bat speed of all the participants in the Home Run Derby. Guess who is number 1? That would be Gunnar Henderson. He's got the best bat speed of all the participants, and he also has the 7th best bat speed in the entire MLB. The next closest guy is Pete Alonso, and as I mentioned, Pete Alonso's was good for 16th. So if you take away the concerns that this is his first time participating, that he just might not quite know what to expect, and he might start out slow and all that stuff before he gets into a rhythm, I still think getting him at plus 550 is really, really good value, not even in the top 3. And again, if you just look at the stats of this year, he probably should be the betting favorite, just looking at that. I get why he's not. I totally understand it, but Gunnar Henderson's incredible. I think he's a great value at plus 550. Next up, our long shot prediction for the video. So for the long shot guys, as I mentioned, the pool I was looking at was players that were plus 1,000 and above. So really it was only between Jose Ramirez, Teoscar Hernandez, and Alec Bohm. And as much as I like Bohm and Jose Ramirez, neither of them to me have the type of hitting game that translates to the Home Run Derby. But I do think Teoscar Hernandez does. So he is my prediction for the long shot. If you're going to bet Teoscar Hernandez, unit size responsibly. I wouldn't put more than a quarter unit on him, maybe even a tenth of a unit, 0.15, something like that. Just a low amount. He's a long shot for a reason. But the stats that you've heard me mention in talking about Pete Alonso and Gunnar Henderson, Teoscar Hernandez by far has the best stats in all those categories of all of the long shots, right? Bat speed, barrel rate, average exit velocity, hard hit rate, all that stuff. He does have the prerequisite numbers, while Alec Bohm and Jose Ramirez do not. Both Ramirez and Bohm have barrel rates that are below even the great category as defined by Fangraphs, meaning they have a barrel rate that is below a 10% barrel rate. And for an event like this, not consistently barreling the ball up is going to be a death sentence. And if you look at other stats, Bohm 47th in the MLB in terms of hard hit rate, while Ramirez is 73rd. Bat speed, Bohm is 52nd, Ramirez is 81st. Like, none of them have great numbers really across the board. Alec Bohm is a doubles machine, and Jose Ramirez, while he does have a lot of home runs, he does it by being able to put the ball in the air. Now, putting the ball in the air does obviously help with the home run derby, but you also need to be able to hit for power as well. And his hard hit rate, all that stuff is lower than what we look for. So I just don't think he will consistently be able to get the ball out of the park enough. And as I mentioned, Alec Bohm is a great hitter. If this was the doubles derby, he would probably win. Now, you look at Teoscar Hernandez. Now, his advanced stats, they're not going to wow you. They're not as good as Gunnar Henderson. They're not among the best in the MLB. But they are among the best specifically of the participants. And he grades out much, much better than Alec Bohm and Jose Ramirez, the other two long shots. Hernandez has a barrel rate of 14.7%. That's one spot above Gunnar Henderson, and that's good for the 15th best barrel rate in the MLB. Also, that's in the great category. Again, 14.7% is considered great. That's just below excellent. 15% and above is excellent. Hard hit rate, 47.6%, 27th ranked in the MLB, and that's fourth of all the participants. So his hard hit rate is behind Gunnar Henderson, Marcell Ozuna, and Bobby Witt Jr. Then looking at another one, bat speed. His bat speed, I'm talking about Teoscar Hernandez, is 34th ranked in the MLB and 5th among all participants. His bat speed is behind Henderson, Alonso, Bobby Witt Jr., and Marcell Ozuna. So I do think that he's accurately priced as a long shot, but his numbers even are better than some guys like Adolis Garcia, who have pretty significantly better odds than him. And he does come out close in some key metrics to the favorites. So I do think that getting him at plus 1,000, again, that is worth a sprinkle. Definitely a pretty good value. And that's all we got. Let's hope that one of these guys wins the home run derby. And depending on how you unit size it, you will be profitable for the day. That would be great. But that is all we got. 3 long shot, best bet, best value bets for the home run derby. I appreciate everybody for watching. Make sure to like the video, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And have a good one.